Hello, I'm Greg Harrison with the USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with your National Feeder Cattle Summary this week. Well, we're coming back from a long holiday weekend, and over the last several weeks, 3 weeks or so, we've had a very bumpy ride on our feeder cattle prices trending lower, and feeder cattle futures and live cattle futures have also been on a roller coaster ride over the last 3 weeks. But this week, feeder cattle broke out of their downtrend, so did the futures. Yearlings this week traded mostly $5 to $8 higher, spots $10 higher, with calves trading fully steady to $5 higher on light trading, with the bulk of the receipts this week were yearlings. Labor Day caused many of the Monday auctions to be closed, including the Oklahoma National Stockyards and Joplin Regional Stockyards, and plus a number of Tuesday auctions had operating with lighter receipts this week. But there were a number of auctions this week that were kicking off their fall season with some very impressive prices and receipts this week, especially in Torrington, Wyoming at the Torrington Livestock Commission Company. They held their annual Labor Day sale on Mondays, trading nearly 5,500 head of cattle on offer. Included in their long list of impressive prices were over 300 head of 750 to 800 pound steers. They had a weighted average weight of 787 pounds, selling with a weighted average price of $232.26. They had between around 100 head of 450 to 500 pound steers, calves, with a weighted average weight of 478 pounds that sold with a weighted average price of $319.78. In Bassett, Nebraska on Wednesday at the Bassett Livestock Sale, they sold 300 head of 920 to 940 pounds yearling steers with a weighted average weight of 928 pounds and sold with a weighted average price of $224.76. And at the St. Joe Stockyards here in St. Joe, Missouri on Wednesday, they had 3,000 head of cattle on offer. They sold 235 head of 700 to 750 pound steers with a weighted average weight of 722 pounds that sold with a weighted average price of $244.92. Over the last several weeks, it's been hard and often kind of uncomfortable to discuss the price retreat that we've seen from our all-time highs, but it's also kind of a law of averages that prices are eventually going to fall back. But after this tremendous run that we've had on these feeder cattle prices. But coming back from the Labor Day weekend, cattle buyers came out in full force, very aggressive to own cattle, especially these large string of yearlings that were on offer this week. Live and feeder cattle futures started coming back with some impressive gains starting last Thursday and Friday, and then after Labor Day on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week had very good gains. This has been greatly influenced by the strength in the fed cattle market last week. Ended up $2 to $3 higher. Box beef is coming off two very solid good weeks of very heavy volume movement. This has there's just a large desire to simply own cattle at this time, especially these yearling cattle, as tight supplies on them have buyers scrambling to own feeder cattle. A lot of good sales this week with a lot of good quality yearlings in the offering, especially in Wyoming and Nebraska and here in the Midwest, and we had some good calves mixed in as well on these sales. Next week, Oklahoma City and Joplin Regional Stockyards will be back having their auctions along with West Plains, Missouri. So we got some 3 major auctions there that will be back. Hopefully these prices will hold, and we'll wait and see. And you can catch more markets at this website. And thanks for listening. I'll be back with you next week.